on UCF Sports Night, Giving Back, we take a look at UCF student athletes working in the community. And we talk with the Assistant Director of Student Services, Marcus Sedberry, about the community service UCF student athletes are doing. All that and more next on UCF Sports Night.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.
Hey there and welcome once again to UCF Sports Night. I'm Jeff Sharon. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. I want to wish you a belated happy Thanksgiving to all you Knight fans out there. And of course, with it being Thanksgiving week, that meant it was time for football, as the UCF football team looked to finish up its regular season on the road with a tough test at UAB. The Knights came into Birmingham with a share of the CUSA East Division title on the line, and things started nicely as Brett Hodges hit Kamar Aiken for this 12-yard score, UCF up 7-0. This would be a back-and-forth affair early, but the Knights started to pull away here with Billy Giovanetti scoring his first touchdown of the season. That made it 17-7 UCF. Then, after a Joe Webb scoring run for UAB, Jonathan Davis answers for the Knights, scoring from 7 yards out after a UAB turnover. UCF led 24-14 at halftime. The cherry on top, Bryn Harvey rips through the line and scores this one from 25 yards out, capping off a 1,000-yard season for him. He's only the 8th Knight ever to do it, and a big win for UCF as they finished the regular season 8-4 thanks to a 34-37 win over UAB. Earlier in the week in Tampa, the volleyball team finished off its season with a tremendous road victory over the USF Bulls in 5 sets. Kristen Fisher had a double-double, one of 5 Knights with double-figure kills. Erin Campbell and Lauren Williams cashed in with 13 and 12 kills respectively in their final match as Knights. Back in the arena, men's basketball faced a tough battle with Albany over the holiday weekend. Dave Diakite was the big player in this one. Here he gets a spectacular breakaway dunk off a basket. And then watch this. Next possession, the Knights get another steal, and Dave goes airborne again for the hammer dunk. What a sequence for Diakite. This thing was tied at 37 at the break. 24 lead changes and 9 ties between the two teams. Second half, Diakite again off the inbounds pass gets the huge jam. 2 of his career high 21 there, keeping the Knights within a bucket. Play of the night here. Watch the defensive effort by A.J. Ramsa, saving it in the corner over his head to Isaac Sosa, who beats 2 defenders for the layup. 2 of Isaac's 13 here. UCF keeping it close. After Taylor Young hits some clutch free throws, Albany's last chance, and Diakite hits big on the defensive end with the steal, and the Knights seal the deal on a 76-72 victory. And of course, for all the latest news, scores, and information from every UCF sport, all you've got to do is hit the World Wide Web and log on to UCFathletics.com. Don't go away. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, giving back to the community. It's something that's on all of our minds on Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll show you what UCF student athletes are doing in the community when UCF Sports Night returns. Hey Knight fans, UCFbowl.com is live on the World Wide Web. It's your one-stop site for all the latest news on where the Knights are going and ticket information for the bowl game. That's www.ucfbowl.com, your official source for Knights bowl game information.
Greatness doesn't care how early it is or how late. Greatness doesn't care if anyone's watching. Greatness doesn't care about your clothes, your hair, or your music. The only thing greatness cares about is getting an opportunity. Where will you get yours? At UCF, we believe no dream is too big and no goal out of reach. On the fields, the courts, and in the classrooms, UCF stands for opportunity.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. Thanksgiving is a time when we think about giving back to the community and helping those who are less fortunate than ourselves. But for UCF student athletes, community service is a year-round thing. From fundraisers for various different causes to visiting children's hospitals to canned food drives, every UCF athlete participates in some sort of community service. And we get a look at what UCF athletes are doing in the community in this week's Sports Night Spotlight.
I think being a UCF athlete comes with a lot of responsibility already, and doing the community service, like, it's a humbling experience because not only are you representing UCF, but you're reaching out to children that aren't as lucky as, or people that aren't as lucky as we are.
Especially like as student athletes, we're very, very lucky. We get a lot. We get school paid for. We get almost everything paid for. So like the least we could do is go out into the community and help someone who has, anyone that just doesn't have as much as we do. Like it's fun, and it's just a way for us to just be able to show our appreciation for what we have.
We are so fortunate, especially with athletics, with what we're given and the opportunities that we're given and the people we get to meet, that I feel like everyone should really be, I don't want to say giving back more, but like just helping everyone else. Like, there's so many things we can get our hands in and work with.
One of our main focuses for SAC is helping out with the Central Florida Children's Home, which is an orphanage, which is kids whose parents either couldn't or wouldn't take care of them. And they range from like 7 years old to 18 years old. And they have foster parents there, but they don't have a lot of money, so we raise money for them. Last year we bought them a computer. This year we're looking to get them a desk for their computer.
It's so rewarding. Like, my first time was last spring, like just hanging out with them, and even just like watching TV, just talking to them and showing interest in their lives, and there's the smile on their faces, like just knowing that we care is the best reward ever.
Well, right now we're doing our canned food drive, and that has to do with, it's a conference-wide competition. And last year we didn't do so well, so we tried to make it really big this year. They've been planning it. Cameron, who does marketing with SAC, and then Lauren, who does community service, they've been working really, really hard. And so we've just been trying to help them and get the word out with them because we want it to be a big success.
I know our coach is big on us helping kids, so like this year we're trying to get, it's called Give Kids the World. It's kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we take the kids to, like, I think it's Disney World or one of the parks for a day and just spend the day with them. So this year I think our focus for softball is like helping out kids in general. Like wherever we find that people need help or anything, we just try and help them out however we can. So we don't really have specifics, but I know for softball it's definitely kids this year. So, but that's fun because kids are fun to work with. So.
For women's soccer, we had Armand in pink, and we wore sports bands, pink sports bands, and just to have an awareness of Breast Cancer Month. And then there was also a girl, teenager. She came to the women's soccer camp in the summer, and unfortunately she had a horrific accident in the news, and we heard about it, and some of the alumni had coached her. So for one of our games, we wore red sports bands, and we had a donation bucket for her surgeries, for her future, for her college scholarship. It's fun. Like when we go to Miracle League and we're working with the kids, like sometimes it's difficult because we can't really communicate real well with them, but it's so much fun afterwards. You're like, like these kids, like they give you hugs, they give you kisses, like, oh, we love you, thank you for coming. And that's like just that in itself is just a pleasure. Like how can you not want to help someone like that? So I know I personally love helping other people, and if I can make someone smile, whatever it is, whether I'm giving them food or I'm playing with them, like that's an awesome feeling. So,
like, it's not hard to put yourself out there for a day, for a couple hours, and it makes such a difference. And so I feel like I really hope that like I remember to do it, and I think that I will, and I hope that I can motivate other people to do just as much community service.
And for more information, visit UCFathletics.com. Don't go away. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we sit down with Marcus Sedberry. He's the Assistant Director of Student Services here at UCF. He tells us a little bit more about what UCF student athletes are doing in community service. Don't go away. We're back in just a moment. Knight fans, it's time to armor up for your defending Conference USA champion women's basketball team. Season tickets are available now. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
When JetBlue chose Orlando for its new flight training center, the presence of UCF strongly influenced their decision. The results? An investment of $160 million and 150 new jobs. UCF stands for opportunity.
Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We're continuing talking about community service and what UCF student athletes are doing in the community. And joining me now, Marcus Sedbury, who's in charge of SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee at UCF, as well as many other things that are going on with UCF student athletes. How are you, Marcus?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good. Thanks for joining us on the show. Tell me first, how much community service do the student athletes at UCF do in the course of an average year?
In the course of an average year, it's probably about 45 or so different events that we end up doing on average per student athlete. It's about 8 to 12 hours a year that they typically get in. Of course, we have some student athletes who are overly involved and they get up to 20 hours in a year, but then you have others who are really, really busy with their athletics and academics, and so they get in around, around 5 or so. But on average, about 10 hours a year.
What organizations do the student athletes help out with? I know that there was some of the athletes in the feature before talked about the Central Florida Children's Home, but I know that there are other organizations that you guys get involved with as well.
Yes. We try really hard to make sure we touch as many organizations as possible. Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida, the Ronald McDonald House, homeless shelters. We team up with Miracle League. We've partnered with Orange County and Seminole County Schools. So a number of different organizations that we try to reach. We try to make sure that we touch all age groups, all demographics, because it's really important that we give back to them because they support us, and even outside of that, it's just the right thing to do.
How much more involved are student athletes this year in community service than maybe they have been in the past?
Right. Well, this year we've packed on our programming really for the fall semester. I think last year about this time they had completed about 16 different service projects. This year, as athletics department, we've completed about 24 projects, and we're hoping by the end of the year to reach about 45 to 50 projects, which will be about 10 to 12 more than we were last year.
Generally speaking, how important is it, in your opinion, that student athletes do community service and get involved in the community?
I think it's very, very important. They are in a fortunate situation where they can come to school here. Some of them are on scholarships. They get to do what they love, get an education from a top institution in the country. Giving back to those people in the community who may be less fortunate or who may not be afforded these opportunities is very, very important, because it's one of those things just in life. You always want to give back. You always want to reach back and help somebody else along the way. So we try to make sure that our athletes get an opportunity to do that.
What more things would you like to see SAC do in terms of community service in the future?
Well, SAC is going to continue to grow. They're going to make sure that they're reaching out to more partners in the community, try to expand as much as we can within our reach, of course. Some of our sports aren't as involved as others because of their practice schedule and because of academic stress and things of that nature. But I'm hoping that all of our teams will be able to partner with at least one organization, find one that they really want to support, so that we can put efforts toward that, and then just continue to grow and be available to the community.
Last question for you now. I mean, the fall is almost complete. We talked about, we saw how the canned food drive was a great success this past week. What sort of events do you have coming up in the spring now for the community service?
In the spring, we'll be putting a lot of time into the Central Florida Children's Home. A lot of our sports will have a lot more free time to do that. We'll also be getting involved with the school system again, working on a School is Cool Week initiative that we're thinking about doing. We're also looking at trying to make sure we emphasize the importance of literacy to the local community. So those are the things that we have on the dock right now, hoping to get those things squared away for the spring.
And I know that a lot of the folks at home are probably asking how they can get involved as well. If for more information, how can some of the fans get in touch to know what's going on in terms of community service, that maybe they can even help out?
Definitely. You can get onto the UCF Athletics website and go to Life Skills or go to the Outreach section on there, and there's information on how you can get involved. And then you can also send me an email directly at msedbury@athletics.ucf.edu.
All right, Marcus, thank you so much for
Thank
joining us.
you.
I know your students who work with you, the student athletes, they do a fantastic job, and it's great to see, especially this Thanksgiving week, the student athletes giving back. So thanks once again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Stick around. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we've got a look at our plays of the week. Also, a look at the week ahead coming up in UCF athletics. Don't go away. We're back in a moment. Knight fans, the nightmare has returned to UCF Arena for basketball season again. Season tickets for the men's basketball team are available now. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
They'll run the end around. Now they'll look for the pass. Throws downfield to whether Kamar Aiken is there. He'll make the catch. Touchdown. Guyton to Aiken. Touchdown UCF.
Bacher, the left-footed shot off the post and in. Your own Bacher with a strike. UCF 1-0 lead.
Hodges gives it to Weaver. Ronnie outside 25. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Ronnie Weaver. Hodges looks. He throws downfield. Pass is going to be inside the 25. Over the shoulder grab by Kamar Aiken. He'll mark him at the 18-yard line. The truth. Outside, he gets the 20, 15 to the 10, 5, touchdown, Brent Harvey. So far, gravity, you're pulling me, gravity, you're pulling me so far. Gravity, you're pulling me, gravity, you're pulling me so far. Goes in motion. Roll out. Hodges throws. Look at this. Hodges. Oh, no. Yes. Oh, Rocky Ross. Pressure comes. He's rolling out. He's down. That'll do it. Game over.
Basketball continues to move through the non-conference portion of the schedule as we look at the week ahead. The men's team continues their slate this Tuesday as they face Newberry College at UCF Arena. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. and you can see the action live on UCFathletics.com and hear it on 740 The Game. The following day, the women's team has a road date with the Dolphins of Jacksonville University. Tip-off for that game is at 7 p.m. and you can hear all the action at UCFathletics.com. Sunday, December 6th is a big day for hoops at UCF. The men's team is on the road in South Bend, Indiana for a date with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Tip is at noon, and you can hear the game on the Knights' flagship station, 740 The Game. Meanwhile, the women's team is at home. They've got a huge game themselves against the Washington Huskies. Tip for that matchup is at 1 p.m., and you can see the action live on UCFathletics.com. Looking ahead to the following week, Saturday, December 12th, the men's team is back home for a matchup with local rival Bethune-Cookman at the Dungeon. Tip is at 5 p.m., and you can see it on UCFathletics.com or hear it on 740 The Game. Meanwhile, down in Boca Raton, the women's team faces another in-state foe, the Lady Owls of Florida Atlantic. Tip for that game is at 7 p.m., and you can hear the action live on UCFathletics.com. On Monday, December 14th, the women's team is back home again for a big non-conference tilt with a major opponent as the Crimson Tide of Alabama comes to town. Tip is at 7 p.m., and again, you can see it live on UCFathletics.com. And Wednesday, December 16th is another huge night for both hoops teams. The women are at home to play a huge one against Florida State. Tip for that game at UCF Arena is at 7 p.m., and you can see it on UCFathletics.com. And the men are on the road down in Tampa to play USF. Tip for that game is also at 7, and you can hear it on UCFathletics.com and 740 The Game. Hey, Knight fans, UCFbowl.com is live on the World Wide Web. It's your one-stop site for all the latest news on where the Knights are going and ticket information for the bowl game. That's www.ucfbowl.com, your official source for Knights bowl game information. Also, tune in for UCF Sports Today with Coach George O'Leary, presented by Holler Classic. Join the coach and Pat Clark for insight, analysis, and in-depth features throughout the week on UCF TV, Bright House Sports Network, and Sun Sports. And a reminder, you can catch UCF Sports Night all week long on UCF TV. The show also airs throughout the week on Bright House Sports Network and Sun Sports. Check your local listings for details. And for all the latest news, scores, and features from every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your 24/7 online home for UCF sports. And of course, if you want to catch this edition of UCF Sports Night again, or you want to see any of our archived editions, you can anytime you want online. All you've got to do is visit UCF TV's home on the web, which is at www.ucf.tv. Well, that's going to do it for us for this week here on UCF Sports Night. We'll catch you again next week. For all of us here at UCF Athletics and UCF TV, I'm Jeff Sharon saying thanks for watching, have a happy Thanksgiving, and go Knights!
Hey, this is LT from 101.1 WJRR. You're listening to the best sounds of area music. UCF Athletics, Access Magazine, and WJRR are proud to support local artists. You can find more great artists by going online at www.wjrr.com and also accessmag.com, and by listening to Native Noise each and every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.